Okay, we're just going to go ahead and get started for today's webinar, and just want to make sure that Mary or Andrew, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So thank you guys for being here today and joining today's webinar on Microsoft 365, your solution for secured modern workplace. And let's just go through a couple webinar logistics. First of all, let me do intros. My name is Steve Reed. I'm Director of Sales here at KTL Solutions. We also have Mary Charuis on the phone. Mary is going to be here kind of monitoring the chat window for questions and any topics or questions that come up during the presentation. Mary is one of our senior account managers here at KTL, and Andrew Lally is also on the phone. He is Director of Technology Solutions and Software Solutions here, so he leads all of our custom development team, but also all of our infrastructure, and many of you have worked with him on a lot of our Office 365 and Microsoft 365 projects and Azure projects. So have him on the phone with us today. If you have questions during the webinar, please go ahead and put them in the chat window, and Mary will jump in at the appropriate time and get the questions out there that either I can answer or Andrew will be able to answer. So we've got him on the phone as well for the more technical questions. And the session is being recorded. So if we will be sending this out after today's webinar, and we'll be getting that to you. Not only will you get the recording, but you'll get the presentation deck from today and some other attachments that we're going to send to you. So let me advance to the next slide here. Okay, so business leaders recognize that people are at the core of their companies, the companies they operate, and it's imperative that to empower their employees to innovate and grow in the competitive landscape. At the same time, companies are faced with the challenges of protecting their people. They've got to protect their IP. They got to protect company information, and it's a much more complex threat environment out there today. So companies are looking for solutions to really enable the modern workplace, to allow employees to get their job done, to be able to connect and do what they need to from wherever they need to. But they've also, IT professionals have got a challenge of keeping things secure and compliant. So these are things that we're dealing with a lot of our customers day in and day out on these types of requests. And so we're going to focus, and because of these requests, we're going to focus on some of these topics today. So there's historically been tension between users and IT. Users want systems that are very simple to use, very flexible, very mobile. They want to be able to have access to their latest tools and for their PC, on their PC or their mobile devices, so that they can be creative and that they can get their jobs done. But it's also IT's duty to ensure security and compliance. And sometimes, at least in the user's mind, this can come at the expense of productivity. So there's a little bit of that tension that goes on between users and IT. So, but a modern work desktop really resolves this tension, and trying to discuss that, and that's what we're going to be kind of discussing today, this modern desktop and how IT can deliver experience users are demanding, while at the same time meeting the business obligations that they have to protect the company as well as its users. So a modern desktop is M365 or Microsoft 365, which is what we're going to talk about today, which is a combination of Office, Windows 10, Office 365, and enterprise mobility and security, all wrapped up into a common unified package to help deliver these tools and these solutions. So it really means a couple things. First of all, upgrading from older environments from Windows 7 and getting upgraded to Windows 10, or refreshing hardware that comes already loaded with Windows 10 that are already Windows 10 devices. It means moving from kind of the perpetual Office licenses to rich client apps and of Office 365, which keeps you current and always current. And it is deploying some of the EMS tools to help secure the devices and the users. And we're going to go through that and talk today about how this modern desktop is really the most productive and the most secure way to move forward in today's world. So Microsoft 365 really came out about 1.5 years ago, and it's really Microsoft's hero solution to help customers enable the modern workplace. And M365 brings together Windows 10, Office 365, and the Enterprise Mobility and Security Suite into an integrated solution that helps empower employees, but also provides security. The first two of these pillars, these 4 core areas that Microsoft 365 addresses, is creativity and teamwork. And, they're all about delivering the great user experience that everyone in an organization is used to. This is best of class. Most of you are very familiar with that in terms of the Office 365 suite of products, content creation solutions and tools to bring in and do that. The last 2 cores areas are really related to simplicity and security, and they're all about delivering those solutions and the security solutions to customers. So we're not going to cover all 4 of these areas today. These are all very, very important, but for time purposes, we're really only going to focus on 2 areas. And these are areas that we get a lot of requests and we have a lot of questions as we work with existing customers as well as new customers. And it's around the topic of teamwork and security. So today, clearly, there's a shifting landscape that's out there, and teamwork is at the core of all of it. And it's just the way work gets done now. And while companies have all their own unique identities, we're seeing common trends affecting, all of the customers that we work with. There's a lot of geodiversity that's out there with our customers, that employees are juggling, traveling, maybe multiple jobs. So there's a lot of remote workers out there. The teams are very geo-distributed. A lot of our companies have multiple offices, multiple areas, multiple countries. So your coworkers are in a lot of different areas. And teams today are not just limited to your internal employees. Many times it's outside vendors that are also part of the team. So you've got to have tools that really allow you to work inside and outside your organization and cover all of these different pieces. And collaboration is key, that everybody has access to the same information, that they have access to current and up-to-date information, and that they're kept in the loop in things that are going on within a project or within a team or a department that you may be working in. So these are all very, very important issues that we have to focus on, which is why teamwork comes up and as a request that we are dealing with day in and day out. So what does teamwork look like for you today? Probably a lot like this. With a lot of the customers that we work with, there's a lot of disjointed collaboration and file sharing tools that are out there. There's unreliable version controls. Where do I find the most recent document that I need to work on? There's a lot of third-party apps that are created. They're stored in multiple locations. They're in Box. They're in Google Docs. They're on a on-premise file server. They're just in a lot of different locations. There's unsecured chat. Mobile workforce solutions are very much a problem today with, tablets and laptops and bring your own devices, and what are they connecting with and what are they accessing the data with? Very important. So teamwork today is very, very complex, and it's full of technical and challenges. So Microsoft 365, as a part of one of its core pieces, it's really built for teamwork, and covers voicemail or email, a voice and video, connects everyone, in the company through communities, shares and collaborates documents. And, with Microsoft Teams, it's got a new chat-based workspace with a lot of other capabilities and tool sets that are part of Teams. Clearly, one of the key functions that everybody's familiar with is in Office 365 is business class email. This is the tried and true standard in the market today for business class email using Outlook and the tools that are part of Office 365. So that is a very, very important tool that's part of the collaboration tool set that's out there. Online file storage. Again, where are documents that you can share and co-author documents across a team with coworkers, with people potentially outside of the organization? How can that be shared? And that you can not only access it from maybe your desktop computer or your laptop, but you also have access to it through your phone or mobile apps, and that many of us are also connected on multiple projects so that you can stay connected through all of these different projects and teams that we may all be members of. Chat and online meetings. This is very, very big. Many of our customers we are bringing in with Office 365 and the other tool sets. We're bringing in with Teams. We're replacing GoToMeeting, or we're replacing Zoom, or other types of online meeting solutions with Teams, so that they can connect and with like a one-to-one chats, and that they can do a one-to-many chat, just like we're doing today on our Teams environment here, that you can host and conduct live events for your customers or for vendors or prospects that are out there. But then you can also work within your team. It can be video, you can have screen sharing and instant messaging across the entire organization. So teamwork is, one of the core things that we see in working with a lot of our customers, and the key requests and a pain point that they're trying to address, whether that's moving from an on-premise infrastructure that's very difficult to access, and their remote users can't get through a VPN connection or reliably, or they have an old email server or SharePoint server that's unreliable, can't get access to it. There's a lot of different things that are out there that are preventing real good collaborative teamwork, and many of them are coming from other tools as well. So they're just trying to get into a unified experience where they can have email and Teams and all of these solutions integrated with Word and Excel and PowerPoint and all the other content creation tools that they're very used to using in their day-to-day job and efforts. So these are very, very important tools, and why teamwork is one of the things that we focused on today, and why we wanted to talk about that. But I want to transition a little bit at this point, to security. Next to teamwork, security is the number one key. We're going to focus time here because many of you are familiar with a lot of the teamwork tools and creativity tools that are part of Microsoft 365 and Office 365, but the security piece, as you move workloads to the cloud and you need these, this is a very, very important part of it. Much of our audience is IT, so these are very key features that IT is very concerned about. And how do I secure my users? How do I secure company information and assets, and keep and protect that, which is one of our IT's key jobs in an organization. So these are some stories from some recent, small and medium-sized businesses that have had problems, with security breaches, and they are widespread. This is only a few. There are other ones that we could have put in this slide to do this, and unfortunately, they're all too frequent that they happen, and it's usually unsuspecting employees or devices or failures that cause these problems to happen. And these are just a few of the challenges that are out there that many of you guys have seen, and hopefully your company hasn't experienced it. So years ago, having an internet firewall, PC or antivirus or email filtering were really sufficient to protect your business. But many things have changed since those really simpler days. Data's in the cloud, and rather than all being inside your, it's not all in your location anymore. That's good news for users because users really have access to things. They can get to the information very easily, and there's a lot better options that they have to connect to the information that they need to work with. But for IT professionals, it means that there's more points of risk. Those users are out there using mobile devices, they're using computers, they're using tablets, they're desktops, they're accessing data many different ways, and they're accessing it from many different locations. It's not just occurring inside your office anymore. It's at coffee shops and airports and airplanes, and you name it, they're accessing the data from those locations, and it really exposes things. And cyber criminals are clearly going after users in a lot of more sophisticated ways. So it's a much more challenging environment to operate in because of this flexibility, and so therefore you have to need a lot of different tools, and it's time to change. The game has changed, so it's time to up the game a little bit in terms of what you have to do. And the key things is staying current with current solutions, because whatever the attacks are today, you could go out and buy software, but everything's ever changing. And if you're not buying solutions that are kept up to date, and you're always going to be behind and playing catch up. So with M365, we're going to talk about intelligent security and protecting identity and apps, thwarting advanced threats, managing data and archiving, and many of these type of discussions. And this is an area where Microsoft is spending over $1 billion a year in their AI and in Azure, creating a enterprise level, top-notch threat avoidance and threat analytics and security boundary for its users in Azure and in Microsoft and in Office 365. So we were going to talk about that a little bit. So what is M365? So by stepping up to M365, you can quickly implement a cloud-based security solution that stays current and protects you from the latest threats and phishing and ransomware and malware. M365 is a single integrated solution that brings together best-in-class productivity of Office 365 with advanced security, and allows customers to run and grow their business. These are very, very key tools that a company needs to have, and in many cases, these tools that come together will replace a lot of the different tools that you're already using, because this is a completely integrated and single platform solution, which makes things life a lot easier for IT to be able to manage these solutions. And they are top-notch, enterprise level, and are at the top of their in the Gartner charts in each of these key areas that are out there. So let's talk about these areas a little bit. So first, proactive detection of issues. With Microsoft AI and in the intelligent security graph, the part of M365 is Office Advanced Threat Protection, or ATP. With that, you can defend against malicious documents with ATP safe attachments. You can ensure hyperlinks and documents are harmless with safe links, and then also you neutralize spear phishing attacks with the ATP URL detection. These are all really, really powerful tools that help users like us that are opening emails from making sure that we're not creating vulnerabilities and opening up the company's network or infrastructure through these types of tools. Very, very powerful tool, and works great. We utilize this a lot, and it's obviously involved in our company, but we are also very actively involved in the government space, and these are great tools that are heavily utilized in the government cloud as well. Safeguarding your company's data, always important that you can control the data that you have, that your company data doesn't get into the hands of people that it's not supposed to get into, that there's encryption capabilities involved in the system, so that if you're transmitting data that needs to be secure and needs to be secure in transit and received on the other end as secure, there's encryption capabilities that have been really, really upgraded and easy to use, not only for the person sending the email, but also the recipient, and then also important part of any secure system is going to be multi-factor authentication. So those are very important in terms of creating company data. as a part of defending the machines with Windows 10 Enterprise and Windows 10, you get a lot of the Windows Defender tools in terms of antivirus, system guard, and advanced threat protection to really protect endpoints from cyber threats and prevent the devices from becoming compromised and protecting from malware. So these are very important tools that are there, again, that can replace a lot of the other third-party tools that you may be using that are different, and bringing this into this integrated platform. And I've got this one as the last item to discuss. There's many other ones in there, but one of the key areas that is very, very challenging for IT people is securing devices. This is in a BYOD kind of world where a lot of different users are using their own phones or tablets, in some cases maybe their own laptops, but in the combination of BYOD and company issued devices, you need tools which come through, that are available through Intune, as the ability to secure your devices. You can control which devices and users have access to information. You can apply security policies to protect the data that are on iOS and Android devices. So again, it works on multiple platforms, it works on mobile devices. You can keep the company data only within approved apps. So Intune is bringing to you not only an MDM solution, but also an MAM solution. And in a situation where a user loses a phone, it's lost or stolen, or the employee leaves the company, you can immediately remove business data from that lost or stolen phone, or from a person that's no longer with the company, so that you can protect that data and get it off of there. So there's a lot of controls that can be set. You can enforce even on personal devices. You can support, enforce strong PIN or fingerprint requirements to access company data, and also get, really protect it and put it essentially in a sandbox on a somebody's personal device, and really put in company rules to enforce the access of that data without affecting the ability of the user to use their personal phone or their personal device for their own personal uses. So these are very, very important things. Security is always, as I said, a very big topic of what we're working with customers. And we are focused on those areas. So I want to, as we shift gears here a little bit, let's talk a little bit about what are the individual components of M365, and let's just dive into those products. We're going to focus today on M365 Enterprise. There is a business version of M365, which is focused on the business licenses. The majority of our customers are really in the enterprise licenses and are of a size that they need to utilize the M365 enterprise SKUs. So we're going to focus and talk about that today. But obviously, if you reach out to your account manager, we can help you with business licenses as well if you need those. So M365 Enterprise is really three different solutions bundled into one package. It's Office 365 E3, and there are different versions of these, but we're going to focus on E3 and E5 today. Office 365 E3 is all the things that you're used to. Email and calendaring, voice and video, co-creating content with Office, all the Office tools, SharePoint, OneDrive, all of the tools that are part of Office 365 E3 are part of this solution and this SKU, this offering. EMS E3 includes identity and access management, basically utilizing Azure Active Directory. And then you have managed mobile productivity. Again, that's device management, MDM and MAM capabilities through Intune. Information protection with Azure Information Protection, and the advanced threat analytics with identity-driven security. Many of these replace tools like Proofpoint and Duo and Okta. So if you're using those types of solutions, these can be replaced by these tools. And Mobile Iron is another one for managing devices. These can all be replaced through EMS. Windows 10 E3 has advanced endpoint security, Azure AD Join, Credential Guard, Device Guard, all of the tools that are part of Windows 10 Enterprise. We're going to share out some additional information with you to let you see what some of the differences are between Windows 10 Pro and Enterprise, and some side-by-side product comparisons. But these can today All of these can be purchased individually. So you could purchase Office 365 E3 or EMS or Windows 10. These can all be purchased as individual SKUs. They can all be added on and purchased in an a la carte way, depending on what your licensing mix is. But if you, Microsoft has put it together in an offering called M365 E3, which allows you to purchase it at a lower price. In this case, the E3 license for the web direct pricing, the pricing you see here on the screen is the actual web direct retail pricing that you would find on the Microsoft site for each of these licenses. So the combined pricing for E3 is $35.80 if you bought all of the SKUs individually. If you buy it as a combined SKU, it's $32, which ends up being about a 12% savings. Obviously, many of our customers, we have the ability to discount this, but these are the full retail prices that you would find on the Microsoft site.
Hey, Steve, we have a question.
Yep.
We have a question asking, what pricing is this, commercial or GCC or GCC high?
Okay, let's go back here. This pricing is for the corporate or the government or just the regular enterprise cloud. There are the same SKUs are available for nonprofit and academic and GCC. There could be differences in those prices, but pricing is just related to the normal corporate or enterprise cloud.
Great, thanks, Steve.
Okay, so then you have E5, Microsoft 365 E5, which is basically building on the E3 SKU. It's moving and stepping up to Office 365 E5, which starts bringing in PSTN conferencing and Cloud PBX, the audio conferencing features, that are in there, Power BI Pro. There's some other ATP and advanced and e-discovery type of tools that are in there. But with EMS, then you also step up to the E5 SKU, which moves into higher, more richer versions of Azure Active Directory Premium P2, really helping to control conditional access, more granular levels of conditional access policies, AIP, Azure AIP, which is kind of a document tagging and rights management solution, allows you to create settings across your enterprise that when people in your organization are creating documents, allows you to, if it sees certain words or things associated with certain contracts, it would automatically mark those as confidential and secure them in a way that they can't be shared out, and that you could force users to set settings and sharing policies and things like that on that. And it's really some things you can set on a corporate wide or enterprise wide level, but also give users the ability to set those settings as well. And then obviously you move up to Windows 10 Advanced ATP, which gives you your full blown malware and virus protection across your on your endpoints, and a deeper control over your endpoint security as well. So this is E5, M365 E5, as you can see, again, these are prices that are for the corporate cloud or the enterprise cloud. For normal commercial customers, this is the web direct pricing. And if you bought all of these individually, the pricing would be $60.80. If you buy it in the M365 SKU, it would be $57, which is about 6% less than buying them individually. Obviously, in the CSP or the cloud subscription world, you can actually start at a point. We can add these on. If you move into other areas, you can upgrade and downgrade these at any given time. So even if you say, I have Office 365 E5 and I have EMS E5, but I want to step up to Windows 10 Enterprise on my workstations and my other units, we can add that in and just shift your licensing into M365 so that you can take advantage of the savings and not have to just layer on the Windows 10. So we can transition that and move into that, which would allow you to take advantage of the SKU that has the package and bundled pricing associated with it. Okay. Okay, so one of the things we're going to do for you as a follow-up to sending you the recording is we're going to send out a plan comparison, which will give you a good point of reference to and a very good matrix to show you the different packages that are out there, what Office 365 E3 offers, and by then adding on M365 E3, what are the additional advanced services that you're getting with each of those. And so we have this comparison, lets you do a side-by-side comparison to see the additional things that you're getting and that you have there. As I said, I told you before, is that over here to the business, on the business side, there is comparisons. There is an Office 365 Business Premium and an M365 Business. The M365 is kind of a scaled down version. There are some footnotes and doesn't have all the same full functionality as the Enterprise M365 does. So you need to look at that. Not a lot of our customers aren't in business licensing. Most of them are in enterprise, but there are seat limits in terms of how many you can use and how many you can be in business licensing. So, but we're going to send this out. This could be additional point of reference for you and hopefully help you evaluate this solution. So again, as we talked about, really there are kind of 4 key areas with Microsoft 365 that are part of their core focus: unlocking creativity and built for teamwork, and integrated for simplicity, and intelligent security. The first 2 really are about delivering great and user experience for everyone in the organization, enabling to be creative, productive, and collaborative. And the second 2, simplicity and security, are all about how we deliver those experiences on a platform that provides a very low total cost of ownership, but at the highest levels of security and flexible management infrastructure. So those are the key focuses of what M365 is meant to do and why it was packaged for that purpose. Okay, so desktop adoption. What are the steps to get there? So first is gaining insights, and this is where you need to reach out to your account manager, but there are tools that we can work with to assess and understand what your current environment looks like. There's some free tools through Window Analytics and Office Readiness Toolkit that can be utilized to help you evaluate your current environment, so we can start to understand what it takes to what are the advantages of moving to M365. We're going to look and understand your current solutions and other tools that you're using, and can help you with the analysis to analyze this. The second is going to be really setting the foundation. Start by upgrading devices and operating systems, getting them into Windows 10, moving to Office 365 and getting yourself in a kind of a subscription-based licensing model so that devices are always staying current, and that you are committed to that, and that you have these modern devices utilizing these tools and always have the current tool sets and technology. And then lastly, implement the last phase, which is really modernizing IT, which is getting Intune configured, autopilot, which is really going to give you as the IT professionals more granular control of your environment and making sure your users are productive, that they can do the job that they need to do, but at the same time, you're able to control the environment and that you're able to do the job you need to do, which is protecting the employees as well as protecting company assets and company IP and information to make sure that they're able to run and operate day in and day out in an efficient way. Lastly, a couple things here that you guys are all probably aware of, but that you need to focus on. We're coming up to some very critical dates as it relates to Windows 7, Exchange 2010, Office 2010. These are key deadlines that are people are going out of service. We have a lot of customers that are still utilizing Windows 7, Exchange 2010, and Office 2010, and you're coming to end of life, and you need to get updated and upgraded into current systems. There are some changes coming in October of 2020 with Office 365 and commercial services, where today there's some integration that exists between Office 365 and your perpetual licensing of Office. Those are going to start to go away. And in October of 2020, some of those that integration is not going to exist. We are also hearing that probably Office 2019 may be the last perpetual version of Office that you're going to actually be able to buy. And that they will offer that, but from moving forward, Office 365 or subscription-based licensing for Office is going to be the way that you're probably going to have to move forward, with that. So you're coming up to end of life. If you have any of these applications or any of your workstations or utilizing any of these workloads internally, you're coming up to end of life, and this is a great time to look at doing a migration and moving to this solution. And we are working with a lot of accounts today that are moving from Exchange 2010 or Office 2010. They want to get their users on more current version of Office, and they need to get off of Exchange 2010, and they're looking to buy new servers. And so we're doing all of these migrations to start this either Office 365 migration or certainly going all the way and moving to an M365 and addressing all their security needs that are out there. So the key is get started today. And the best way to do that is to contact your KTL account manager. For some of you, it may be me. For some of you, it may be Mary or Disha. And please reach out to us if you don't know who your account manager is, or we have a lot of customers that a lot of people on the call that aren't our current customers. Reach out to us and we will touch base with you and start talking and starting this journey that we talked about, and we can work with you in assessing your current environment and figuring out the best way to go.
Steve, we do have a few more questions.
Great.
Mainly related to licensing. One question is, can I have a mix of Office 365 and Microsoft 365, and are F1 licenses available in Microsoft 365?
The answer to all of those questions is yes. I like the easy questions. So yes, as with all of our subscription licensing in the cloud, the ability to mix and match. We frequently have users and companies that have a mix of different licenses. They have full users that are on E3 or E5 licenses. They need the full benefit of everything. But sometimes they have more field employees, maybe employees that are on a plant floor or, working in a contract someplace else. They just need email accounts. So they're in a lower level, like an F1 license, and they don't need all the full features, but they can mix and match licensing. This is true in all the different tenants. It could be commercial, academic, government, and nonprofit. So the ability to mix and match is there, and we can mix and match that within a customer's tenant.
Another question that we have that might be a little bit more intricate to answer is Microsoft 365 considered FedRAMP moderate or FedRAMP high?
I'm going to defer that to Andrew. Andrew's on the phone, and we're going to try to see if Andrew can answer that. I know he works with a lot of our GCC and GCC high customers, and if he can unmute and Andrew, if you don't mind jumping in there and answering that question for us. I think there he is. Okay.
Found the mute button.
Okay.
So I guess it depends on what cloud you're in and slightly what you're looking at. So Microsoft recently announced that all their Azure environments are FedRAMP high, but some of the services are still FedRAMP moderate listed on their site and not fully through the accreditation. So I would still consider all that FedRAMP moderate, even though there are some parts of their overall system that are higher classification.
What if Andrew, what if for the clients that are in GCC, that is FedRAMP moderate for sure? If they're in GCC high, would those solutions be considered high, FedRAMP high compliant?
The GCC high environment would be considered FedRAMP high.
Okay. Mary, you think does that answer the question, you think?
I think so, and that is all the questions that we have. But like Steve said, if we have anyone has any more questions that they need answered as they're thinking about this, please reach out to us.
Thank you. Again, thank all of you guys for joining us today. We appreciate you attending this event. We will be sending out, within 24 hours, we'll be sending out a recording of today's event, as well as the presentation deck and some other handouts to help you in terms of analyzing the right M365 package for you. And if you would like to touch base with us and learn more about this, do not hesitate to reach out. Again, Mary, thanks for being on the call today and helping moderate and fielding incoming questions. Andrew, again, thank you for being on the call. And again, thanks for everybody and have a great day.